The Ferguson Report. The Ferguson Report from March 4th through March 17th, 2020.
Aries.
People in your professional circle finally comprehend why yours is the first sign of leadership. Your moves seem like autonomic breathing that don't question the action, but simply start and sustain any matter with full enthusiasm. However, this time, it's your work that others may doubt because they believe you must work harder for it. Some of those top people could be restraining your earnings in a power play. They feel as if they are more deserving than you, and that you need a title or corner office to prove yourself worthy. And so you find yourself doing your own thing, making up for it outside of the job, regardless of what others believe. Normally in the thick of things, if you find yourself withdrawing from others, craving silent moments and deep thought, you really need this time to wonder about your future. Make no mistake that you are well equipped to go to war in the dog-eat-dog world of competition and making a name for yourself, but you need a moment of peace. There is a season for everything, including your awareness of the season for slowdowns and introspection. To gain an edge over competitors, you need a strategy formulated only by keeping information close to your chest for the time being. It's not to say that these things don't make their impact, for short and terse language eliminates the nonsense to make the most of limited time. Yet there is even less sensitive feelings of others that you have to consider when you're in the private planning stages of your own enterprise. Things just simply get done without all the emotions in the way. Going it alone in your own independent style is doubly important at this time. Your expression requires an incubation period to give birth to new manifestation. The only downside to this is putting excess strain on the body from pressure focused inward. In other words, put on the brakes and slow down on someone else's highway. Plan to pave your own. Rely on your own intuition and wait for the moment of release when you discover the direction in which you're meant to go, even if inspired by the past or people who you already know.
Taurus.
You've had your eye on the latest iPhone. It has 3 unique lenses, an ultra-wide, wide, and telephoto unlike any other phone out there. Here's the issue. You're an old-fashioned being who needs to make a simple phone call or send a text or two, and that's it. So your instinctive logic is to stick with what you have for the time being, namely when it comes to new technology. Well, you're so right. Being conservative with your time and money despite the pressures from groups of people or the marketing strategies of businesses is the right frame of mind. I could tell you to wait for such and such a period to be over with before you invest in anything expensive, but your natural instincts don't allow you to move until the real moment of necessity anyway. So continue to buy what you need for now. What I will say is that during the first days of spring, the feeling to shop will kick in, like the urge to purge, out with the old and in with the new. Meanwhile, if any of your associates gave you wise advice about an established social media app or technological advancement you need to make your daily life easier, research these products for future download and use. Friends will be the source of progressive change in your life. They recommend classes to learn the new skills in your industry at a really reasonable price. Ideas like new media changing the digital landscape and other related courses make you aware of social changes brewing. Such concepts can be applied to whatever you're involved in. You like that multi-purpose investment so that money does not go to waste. For a long time, you've had to take a radically different approach to your self-expression. Who am I, you ask? Well, I'm not the same person I was last year. So much has changed, and that's how you'll be telling your story to those you ask. People who know you will see the remarkable change. This reflects a notion that if you want to start something new, you'll have to get involved in cutting-edge activities. Scary thing to be brand new when you like your life the way it is, huh?
Gemini.
Your career goals may be somewhat out of focus. You'll have to stylize your image, especially when competing candidates are doing so, whereas others may not agree on what you're presenting. Work with that information and make your adjustments now so that later on, you'll gain respect for clarifying yourself and your intentions. Then, sharper thinking begins to emerge. There's no place like home, yet a long work schedule or some other sacrifice is interfering with your family life in some way. Or the other way around, where you seek advancement but refuse to give up quality home time. Your instinct tells you that the opportunity has some unknowns about it that make you doubt it. One thing you cannot stand is boredom. If it ever reaches that point, people will see your bad side come out just to create a little excitement in your life, but turmoil for others. You have too much to accomplish professionally, and there will be no time to waste. And the people in charge won't appreciate thoughtless opinions blurted out unfiltered. You'll have to think about what you want to say first, then say it. Your very job depends on that because others are so sensitive now. What they thought you said will be noted as your intention. Be sure to say what you mean and mean what you say. And feelings? Wow, what a time to let go of bad moods, hurtful words, mean facial expressions. These and the other communications get misunderstood along with a tendency to show up late because the train or traffic held you up, which is likely to happen. But that's not the boss's problem when he needs you and you're perceived as being moody. Feelings don't accomplish much except for maybe the pink slip you might receive and a repolishing of your resume to stay out of unemployment.
Cancer.
Some pending court case, yours, or through jury duty, can reemerge to take up the majority of your mental and emotional focus. Past feelings resurface concerning specific events that took place, the people involved, and where it all happened. You would really prefer to move on, but you must go through the procedure. Whatever you do, expect a good outcome from it. Your legal representation, spouse, or any close friends will be your source of legal fortune and benefits. You'll also learn a lot about how the court system works. You can easily see who fits where and how you should never suspend your own instincts because some court official tells you this is the way it has always been done. Your neighborhood is changing dramatically. Long-time residents have long since moved away or passed on with strangers replacing them. It's a disconcerting feeling that may make you feel unstable. If you encounter a misunderstanding with such new people in your area, you are an expert at the practical expression of emotional appeal, so use that. Whether it is in court, classes, or some other place where you are obligated to be, these don't allow you freedom of movement. You can't jump on a plane to attend the wedding of your relatives abroad, and that's the part which disappoints you, though you keep that to yourself. Something at this time is restraining your desires to move in the way you want at the expense of what you need. Recent reflections on the past to handle your future help you in this learning process that may seem confusing at first. This becomes clear because whenever you need more information, you seek the wisdom and knowledge of your feelings. They will always lead you right, so you won't get left.
Leo.
Taxes, 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 or loan insurance payments, or your credit report. One or all of these bring very good news, surprisingly. Usually we talk about the reputation of joint finance stuff as if something bad will happen. Yet that's not likely the case, though there are exceptions. Even during a time where you must re-examine past information in perfect detail, you stand to benefit from it. Assets grow in size or value, but you have to show a real interest to make the most out of them. You may have a recurring payment or investment that is about to end, and you can take that money source to invest in your own business. Just remember to wait until this cycle is over to begin something new, and be careful with all information, as miscommunication is common. You're really good at asking questions to find out what you want to know. Your sign is accused of being nosy, but that's because your inquisitive nature, only second to Gemini, has a need to know for self-control. You should realize, though, that when you idealize a joint partnership issue, including sex and intimacy, it could let you down in some way. You must watch out for being duped into making bad decisions based on bad information that can lead you into tricky situations. Slowing down, reconsidering, taking one's time to draw flowcharts with yes and no avenues that clarify how you must handle your money is a perfect method. Questions? Why, yes, you'll always have those. Answers? No one has all the answers, but if you stay organized in the way you normally are and remain analytical and organized, at least mentally, then the answer will be clear as the bright sun up in the sky.
Virgo.
Too long have you been sacrificing yourself for relationships. Be considerate of others, but now you must put the focus squarely on you. You need to be more self-assertive. The moment someone tries to guilt trip you for a problem they've caused, all you have to do is refer them to the receipts you've kept, because you always have them no matter what you do. Alternatively, if you need to shake things up in the area of your love life, these others can help to get you out of your boring rut. Let them show you a different side of life for a change. You're tired of the same food, same routine, and same nights in front of the TV. Now that you've gotten so used to being comfortable with a certain way of being, life can show you several ways to open up yourself to new experiences. Some people from your recent past will be even happy to help. Any partnerships bring you the very perspective you need to see yourself objectively. They also help you to review where your thought patterns have strayed from the reality of your goals to put you back on track. The details will match the intent of what you are trying to achieve because someone else is helping you to see them as the same things. If you think a business plan includes the ingredients from a cake recipe rather than full-blown detailed mathematics of last year's income, what you expect from venture capital, how you'll get it, and precisely what you'll use it for, then you're in for a rude awakening. A partner will see the egg on your face before you leave the house. They show you where you're lacking, and that is very important advice that lucky you can receive. So should you say yes? It wouldn't hurt if established relationships affect future outcomes for the better. But just remember yourself when you go around freely helping those who need you. You do have a say in how far those others can go with you before you really decide to say no. And that two-letter word is a no turning back decision for valid reasons.
Libra.
You have the know-how to go out and get the very thing you want, but in an indirect kind of way. You're the one to attract rather than pursue. This time, instead of pursuing the objects of your eye, you feel like being alone. The day-to-day interaction with others doesn't satisfy an overwhelming need for privacy. Work life is a distraction. Whether it's things that are bothering you or if someone is causing you grief, you must go into your castle of isolation, brew up some truth serum, fall into a meditative state, and find the solution. Your sensitivity is at an all-time high. It'll even show up in your body, revealing itself in weight gain or as water retention. Be careful around people expressing extreme emotions. You can start to feel completely out of it from their residue transferred into your own boundaries, which are now at their thinnest. Even with prescribed medication, and of course, with all other substances, pay attention to how they have the same invasive and perhaps toxic effect on you. Try healthier remedies to healing. Change up your routine. Most of you have already set up your routine to work from home, in which case you'll have the free space to eliminate the warring distraction coming at you from the outside. Or so your subconscious seems to say. See older people or those who are not as mobile as you. There is joy in giving time to those who don't have the luxury to move like you. And that in itself is an empowering, liberating experience.
Scorpio.
I have to break it to those in an unhappy relationship at this moment. Be prepared for abrupt endings and sudden new beginnings. Bad marriages, problem partnerships, and all casual flings are targets up for reconstruction, cleanup periods after hurricane-like conditions, and solid new beginnings. Fortunately, unlike other signs that have had a much more difficult time during their time of enforced separations, the stars are aligned, placing you in major control of your own life. No one gets the best of you unless you want them to. If you're well attuned to your instincts, you need extreme strategy to make major partnership changes. And whomever is left standing with you after the storm, then that is who you need to be with. Electrically charged conversation, action-oriented interactions, and plans for major improvements go well now. Be a little patient by waiting to change your personal life in the way you want it to be. On another note, the only conflict you could encounter may involve friendships or other groups of people who present themselves as one way, but mean something else altogether. Find out the truth about someone's actions and then confront the guilty party. And always be at your impeccable best, both in word and action. People like you do exist in the world. You're not alone, nor should you ever forget what it took to get you to where you are. Remember how it feels when an obsessed admirer goes out of their way to hunt you down because of an insecurity, the root of all psychotic behavior. Then you'll know how to control your own obsessions and realize how you too can powerfully affect people just by being present.
Sagittarius.
Your love life could cost you in the short run, but with good behavior, the long term looks rosy. However, the mountain would not be an easy climb. Your fire sign has a reputation of sparing no expense to impress a love interest. They can smell weakness, sneak up to you and run up the tab at the best table in the house. I think you've been through too many financial challenges enough to conserve most of your discretionary income. You've learned the hard way how money does not grow on trees, and whatever your friends say to press you into visits to the strip clubs, raining money stacks into the thongs of brainiac strippers is a good return on investment for them, but not for you. Life comes with its many challenges. You work hard. You want to have a good time. So here's a few things you can do to balance work and play. Step 1. Take an ice pick and chip away at the habits that have become crystallized in your life, such as staying too long at work for no incentive. Perhaps you can use technology and social media to push your agenda to an even wider audience on a bigger platform. Step 2. Honor your values. If you don't believe in something that moves you, don't be surprised how that is purposely siphoning money out of your pocket, showing you that you need to leave it alone. Step 3. Start a discussion with your many family members on joining forces to establish a community center, organization, common meeting center used for family and neighborhood functions, or in support of marginalized youth and adult population. Health is wealth too. Your gym membership is a valued asset which allows you access to an assortment of benefits. For example, potential people to date, cousins and siblings to spot you, your good energy which motivates you to go, and the strippers who come there to work their assets in the mirror. It's a bachelor/bachelorette party comedy show at its funniest.
Capricorn.
Your sign is being graced by the best energy. You could refer to this as the race car driver type of motivation, pushing you to be more daring in nearly all aspects of your life. This is particularly related to fun, children, entertainment, dating, and romance sector. Your sign is getting more than enough attention from everyone. The energy you radiate reflects this. Along with a lot of luck in all you do, you should expect a few good results from the seed you plant. All good things come to those who wait is a good motto for this time, as the investment you put into your growth will multiply in droves. Guaranteed. Pay attention to your mental state. What you think now is more important than the very money you make. In fact, it all depends on the quality of your thoughts, which encourage the best in anything you do, including maximizing profit. You're also going through a non-analytical, feeling, not rationalizing phase. Sometimes you don't know why you feel a certain way, but it almost seems as if you feel everyone else around you. If you're losing track of time while dreaming of the next big move, then you have to accept this time as a wake-up call to be inspired. Listen to what a different side of life is showing you. Not everything is linear, completely revealed, and straightforward. You need to perceive some information from within your soul. How would you feel if your brother or sister told you about this time years ago, only to wake up to recently feel exactly what she said to you? Such a realistic sign as yours needs to be inspired by strong feeling. Not everything is a paycheck, and you are not your job. When someone tells you something, run that by your feelings and examine how you can use that in yet another of your dreamy ideas, but somehow, without a doubt, made real.
Aquarius.
You're determining what has more value in your life. Being a fiercely independent spirit, the way in which you express care and concern for others is a little different than most. The reason you cope well with usually heavy personal matters is that you put your emotions somewhere else. Not an easy thing to do. This allows you to make very quick decisions. These compartmentalized feelings help distressed family members or other close people to know exactly what they need to do. Known for always being on the go, a trip to a favorite destination is never out of the question. The more it involves the excitement of meeting spiritually stimulated people, the more you will want to do it. These next couple of weeks are also about revisiting a retreat to which you may have already traveled. Be it old friends or a day at the beach, spa, gym, this place reminds you of a second home. This is definitely a time of being open to any and all activity there is to do. It may turn into a crazy mess, but your people will not disappoint, basically because you're with kindred spirits. Now is not a time for new relationships though. If you've ever trusted your independent mind to guide you correctly about someone, please listen to it now. What starts as an attraction you think is meant to be turns into a game of manipulation on one or both of your parts. It all stems from the fear of losing this good new thing. You'd use any excuse to keep it going. That is, if you weren't so independent and didn't value your freedom so much. You may feel like a long-distance relationship is way too much work upon returning home because you both do have to get back to your own lives. You might even end up supporting the relationship financially because that's what you do when you're in love, and that you have the means to sustain you both. Do yourself a favor. Give free advice over the phone and from a distance. Invest your precious time and money in better ways.
Pisces.
It's all up to you to get your life going in another direction. If you'll notice, I did not say new direction. You'll have to alternate between the fish swimming upstream and downstream, or to define your present circumstances by looking back at past actions. Your sign is one of creativity and art. Now you get to communicate that type of expression to others in any way you want. The best opportunities lie with those people who you have well-established ties and, more importantly, who you really like to be around. You'll also notice with such change in the air that some old ties begin to fade away and disappear. This is caused by someone feeling envious of your successes, resentful that you're moving on without them. Whether that is true or not, this destructive type of emotion leads you to believe that it has always been in their heart, not yours. Part of growing out of old relationships is the knowledge that new ones will eventually replace them. You must embrace any sudden actions taken by established associates or friends that shocked you out of the belief that you knew these people when they surprised you with odd behavior. While your personality aspects are soaring, who and what you cherish is up for change. This is also true for shaky close relationships. No longer valuing the same things as you once did. This is the normal way things go. Conception, birth, growth, and their eventual demise. Accept what is going on, change what you don't like about it, and stick with being a model representation of your artistic expressions. They look like two-dimensional forms, but rather, they reflect your inner reality born to the real world as real as you are.